I won't do that.
This is the Strictly Business Fantasy Football Podcast. I am joined. My name's Biz, and I am joined with my co-host. We've been having some laughs before we came online. I got my co-host here, Big Burley. How we doing today, John?
What's going on? Busy, doing awesome, man.
I see that you got a new tag there, a new name. What's that's in reference to?
We all know it.
Nikki sucks.
Nikki sucks.
I feel like the blueprint may have been burnt up, and Nikki can't read it.
Yeah, I mean, we all know dead clocks are right twice a day. Nikki had a couple of seasons. Now it's time for him to get back to the sub-mediocrity from before, and he's lived well up to it.
He's been mediocre. Let's be real. He's gotten to the championship game because his teams have gotten hot, late in the season. And you have to tip your cap to that, getting to the championship game.
For sure, but last year he got to the championship game never having to play a game with an opponent over like 125 points. It was crazy. And then he gets like 60 points the week he has a fucking bye from having that shitty schedule. Right? Like,
yeah. It's crazy because there is some luck involved in fantasy football. And we
half luck at least.
We create our own schedule in this league where we do division games the first 3 weeks and the last 3 weeks of the regular season. So weeks 1 through 3, weeks 12 through 14. Everything in between is completely random. I create the schedule, but let me tell you, I create the schedule before the season starts. So you don't know who is going to be good come week 8, week 9 and on. And sometimes the schedule benefits you. And then also it depends on when you play people. Again, Nick's 1 win this year. He played me in week 5 and his team scored 191 points. You look at it this week, he scored 109.
Mm-hmm.
I would have beat him in week 5 if he scored 109. So it all depends on when you play teams. Dave, how you doing, buddy? Welcome to the show.
Doing good. What's up?
Yeah, you gotta be feeling good.
Dave would have beat Nikki's 109 this week too.
Oh, yeah. Congratulations, Dave.
Sure, dude.
Your team
Not
broke
much more than that.
Your team broke 130 barely for the first time in the last 4 weeks.
Oh, my
gotta
God.
talk about the schedule gods, Dave. I mean, you haven't won many of those games, but
hey,
I'll tell you what,
I can get. There's no easy wins in the league, just like the NFL.
That's very true. I mean, you're 6.
I don't know. You've had a couple easy weeks lately.
You're 6-3, but you still have. Well, you don't have that many points. What am I saying? Never mind. Your team stinks.
But I'm 6-3 though. Hi, John.
That's it. So we come to you from snowy fucking Denver, where everybody back in the East Coast that's in our league is experiencing a heat wave. We were just talking about how in Connecticut there's 80-degree days. My dad was telling me they're hitting records in November, 80 degrees. Where here we were experiencing record highs for the last couple weeks, and then this week, man, we've just been. I don't know. It's just been overcast and then snowed a little bit. And then overnight we got like 5 inches and it's still coming down here. So
it's not going to stop until like Saturday morning.
Dude, they're saying Saturday morning, maybe even into Saturday night, there could be snow. It's just crazy. I mean, it'll be gone in a week, but nonetheless.
Not even. The minute the fucking snow comes out, that shit's out.
Nonetheless, man. This is brutal weather. My wife texted me earlier saying that the government building that she works in downtown might be closed tomorrow. So she'll be at home, and then on Monday is Veterans Day, and we know the government employees don't work on holidays. So she'll have a nice long weekend. Cheers to her. So I'm gonna hit the grocery store, grab up bread, grab up milk, be one of those old ladies. Make sure we got canned soup for the weekend. God forbid, But nonetheless, guys.
Good too.
Yeah. Nonetheless, guys, week 9 is now completed. Literally tonight, we kick off week 10. Like every year, the season just, once you get into the first week of the season just flies by. Huh, Dave?
Oh, tell me about it. And then before you know it, Super Bowl's here, and then we're we're gearing up for the draft again.
Yeah.
That's Dave's favorite time of year, mock draft season.
The mock draft season.
Yep.
Dude, it was true for me this year, John. Definitely.
Oh, next year it's going to be even worse, John. If he's running his card business, it's going to be even worse.
I hope so.
So
more work is good.
Yeah. Injuries to discuss. John, you want to talk about injuries from this week?
I mean, no. I'm fucking sick and tired of talking about injuries. This sucks. Fucking Dak and CD. I was doing a prayer circle that goddamn Nico Collins hits practice this week.
He's out again today.
Is he out again today?
Yeah.
God damn it. I looked right before I came on.
Most recent reports saying that he's highly questionable to play this week. It's a long shot was the term used.
Which is crazy because earlier this week they were like, yeah, he's cleared all of his tests. He's looking great. No setbacks. So it's confusing, but yeah, my Nico prayer circle's been up.
Yeah.
It sucks, Everybody knows I banked on Dak and CD this year, and they've fucking been mediocre at best. And now for Dak to get fucking officially whacked, thank God I made a trade for CJ when I did.
I've never heard of a hamstring tendon tearing off the bone. Like we joke in group chat about the hamstring tearing off the bone, but in reality, I don't think I've ever heard that before. In the play, it was just a standard out route that he was throwing. It didn't look like there was any, overextension on the pass. It was a standard pass that you see him make multiple times a week and came up lame, hamstring out for the remainder of the game. And then CD with the AC joint sprain, you felt bad for him because he battled back, came back in the game, caught that 2-point conversion, and the defender just happened to run by him, and it looked like he just rushed him. And you just immediately see him go down like, oh, he's in so much pain. That's something that, is going to be a pain tolerance situation where they're saying that he was limited yesterday. There's a good chance he plays. There's a good chance he plays this week. But my concern from a fantasy perspective, because I'm the owner of CD in our other league, is that on first drive of the game, he gets hit or he goes down to make a catch, or as he gets tackled and the pain is too much and his day is done, 1 for 10.
What are you going to do? Not play him? I mean, it could be. And we're looking at a downgraded situation anyway with Cooper Kupp. Or Cooper Rush. It's not a complete shit show situation. He's played solidly with Rush before, but
well, it is a plus matchup, you would think, because Philadelphia is going to score points on the Dallas defense. You'd think Dallas would be in a negative game script, and you can pass on the Philadelphia defense. So those are all pluses. Yeah, absolutely. I have to start him in the other league. I would assume the same for you.
I'm 8 ways of fucked if he doesn't play. So let's go CD.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about it, Dave. You had Jordan Love play for you this week. Play through the injured groin. It definitely looked like he was hurting a bit.
Yeah, he wasn't moving that well out of the outside of the pocket at all, man. He was just getting rid of the ball, and yeah, he was tolerating it a whole game. He got a few good passes off, but he's a gunslinger. He's going to get his throws out, but
it was tough weather too.
The bye week comes for me at a perfect time for Love to rest up.
Yeah, reload.
And it's not in his knee too. He's kind of hobbled with his knees from the start of the first game of the year.
Everybody's a little dinged up at this time of year, right? It doesn't matter the position. Everyone's a little dinged up. So, yeah, it is a good time to have that bye week for the Packers, rest up, and hopefully come back healthier in week 11. What we're going to do, guys, we're going to dive right into week 9 here. Let's share the screen. Boom, boom. All right. We're going to start right at the top. Bing Bang scores 184.85, which was the high score on the week for the league. Takeover, John, 133.32. Bing Bang moves up to 6-3. John falls to 5-4. We talked about before this game how important this game was just from a standings measure. Being 5-4 versus 6-3 is completely different. I think, John, we'll talk about the standings, but you fell to 6th place overall. So you're still in the playoffs if they were to start today. Huge game for me out of Jalen Hurts. He's been on fire lately. 3 touchdowns total. It really comes down to touchdowns. I mean, that's what fantasy is all about. Eckler got in the end zone. Dowdle caught that like juggling catch from Dak. That was an impressive play from Dak. Maybe he hurt his hamstring on that play. Who knows, right? Dak getting hurt was huge in this matchup. Jacobs, he had 90-something yards rushing, and
that was such trash. It was pouring rain.
Quarter.
He had like 80. He had 86 yards halfway through the fucking second quarter,
and ended up.
And it was like, all right, I'll at least get the fucking bonus here. No, go fuck yourself. Because John lives on players that get 95 but not 100 points.
Yeah, that 5-point bonus
yards.
is huge. The 5-point bonus is huge. That's like scoring a touchdown.
Exactly. I was like, it's a substitute touchdown.
Yeah.
So when you're that close and don't hit it, it stings. Yep. Especially when you were that close that early.
And efficient. 13 carries for 95 yards. Very efficient.
Right. I don't understand how they don't give him the ball a little bit just to get the defense on its toes.
Yeah. Ramondre keeps showing up for you, though. I mean, not very efficient, 10 for 16, but he got in the end zone on the ground, and then he caught another crazy play. Drake May extending the play. Seemed like that play went on forever to tie the game and send it to overtime, and hit Stevenson in the end zone. That was just a ridiculous play.
That was pretty phenomenal, man. Just from a rookie quarterback, that's just even more impressive. Makes it more impressive.
I think he's going to be a really good player. The offensive line in New England is terrible. The weapons are below average. So let's build around him. But I like what I've seen so far. He's a tough kid, man. You got to give him credit because he's taking shots. He's taking a lot of shots, but he's keeping them in the game. The huge play at the end to send it to overtime, just to get your heart broken in overtime. But again, touchdowns are king. If you're not getting the 100 or the 300-yard bonuses, you got to score touchdowns. And you look at my lineup here. I had Eckler. Eckler, he had fucking 38 yards rushing in the first half, and then they didn't even fucking play him in the second half. I don't understand what happened there, but then they started including McNichols and
Rodriguez.
Rodriguez, yep. And they played most of the second half, and it's not like the game was a blowout. I mean, it was kind of close. The Giants kept it close, broke our hearts in the end, of course. I told my dad, I texted him, said, don't get your spirits up. This is like third quarter when we cut it to like a 1-score game. I said, we do this every week. They're just going to break our fucking hearts, and that's what they do. This is what bad teams do. They can't find ways to win. Giants are 2-7, so fuck them. But Eckler got in the end zone. Dowdle got in the end zone. Amon-Ra, Sun God, he got in the end zone. Devonta Smith got in the end zone. Waddle got in the end zone. He finishes with -4 yards receiving because of that last play. He's supposed to lateral the ball. Instead, he just keeps running backwards. And it was like a 25-yard loss on the play. Ingram didn't score, but he got a 2-point conversion. Myers over 100, so he got the bonus. Taysom Hill, baby. Taysom Hill. 19 yards on the ground, but he got the tutty. That's all that matters. McManus, whatever. And then the Rams D showed up. Minnesota D showed up for you, John. I mean, they're a top 5 defense this year. You got to love Cedric Tillman. He's looking like a legit starter the rest of the way. And then Tank Dell on Thursday night, over 100. I mean, this dude Stroud had nobody to pass to. So it ended up being a little lopsided in the end, but it was definitely some moments where I was sweating this one out for sure. In my own way, falls to 3-6. This week, he's the tough luck loser, scoring 161 plus. Falls to Phil, SNTPG, 177.1. I mean, Phil's team's legit. Phil's team's legit, guys. Almost 30 out of Lamar, who's the MVP. Bijan, he's had shit, man. 4 or 5 games in a row. Solid production. Kyron did not score for the first time all season. Jaden Daniels, he played well, but again, that game was kind of in control. They ran the ball a lot in the second half. Saquon and Mixon both had really good games. Rich really was hurt by Puka Nacua getting tossed in the first half. I think, was it the first quarter?
Second quarter.
Yeah.
Maybe early in the second quarter. On a weird play that was on an interception, I believe, and they started throwing hands, and Puka's the one that got tossed. So I don't know. Zay Flowers showed up huge. He had a couple big-time touchdowns run after the catch. Just McLaurin had 2 touchdowns, but only 2 catches for 19 yards. Zach Ertz, that was a bad start. 1 catch, 5 yards. Jay Jetta, he's a monster. 7 catches, 137 yards. He also threw a pass for 22 yards. Cade Otton is another looking like league winner at tight end because they've got no other options in Tampa. Your boy Tyler Bass, Dave, 15 points, solid week, and then both their defense kind of washed out. But Rich is just struggling. I traded him Xavier Legette, and I told him the guy's a touchdown machine. He's not going to do a lot, but he's going to get in the end zone. Sure enough, 11.9. And then Josh Palmer, another guy I traded him, 13.3. Certainly would have helped. I also, Rich and I did a deal after the podcast last week, and I told him, I said, I'll kick you Taysom Hill. You got Zach Ertz in the lineup. I think Taysom Hill's a better start than Zach Ertz. He's like, nah, I like the connect. And I understand his logic. However, it didn't work out this week. What's the feeling you got, John, from Rich? He can't be feeling too good right now. Falling to 3-6. He's in must-win situation.
He's in must-win situation, but I mean, do you want to play against him right now?
No. I'm glad I already played him.
Right. You don't want to play that team. That team very well could rip 6 wins in a row real quick.
Yeah. Daniels, Barkley, Mixon, Puka, Terry McLaurin. And then this week he had
Monty. Who else did he have in flex? Because, I mean, Monty's no joke.
Just a guy named
Jets.
Just a guy named Justin Jefferson. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, dude's lineup is thick.
Mm-hmm. It's just tough luck loss in a must-win situation. He's 3-6. Now, 5-4 today would get you in the playoffs, meaning, Rich, it's only 2 games out. We've got 5 games left in the regular season, weeks 10 through 14. Very realistic shot to get in. He's got to go 5-0, though, don't you think?
Yeah, 100%. No room for error.
Is he in your guys' division?
No.
Okay. Stricky, Phil's in my division. He and I are both 6-3. I'm waiting for Phil to lose. Rod Dogginett hits 169 on the dot, moving up to 5-4, beating up on the aforementioned Nick, who is just in the struggle bus, 109. Started Caleb this week. Caleb was not a good start, 9 points. Sam Darnold, he played well with 23. Derrick Henry just keeps freaking rolling, man. I mean, if we were to redraft, knowing what we know now, would Derrick Henry be the number 1 pick? 1-1?
Saquon. I think it's Saquon.
I think it's Jay Jets.
I mean, Derrick Henry's the number 1 running back as of today, number 3 overall. Look at these numbers: 10, 16, 35, 39, 16, 29.7, 14, 30.8. Jay Jetta's numbers.
Yeah, he's ageless, man. That guy's special.
Achan, he had a solid game, touchdown on the ground and one through the air. Tyreek, 4 for 80. It's not going to get it done. Jackson, Smith, and Jigba. In a week where DK was out, this dude had 13 targets, 7 catches, 180, and 2 touchdowns against my Rams defense that I started. Monster week. Do you guys see this continuing? 38.5, or is this just an enigma moving forward? Because they're on a bye week 10.
Enigma. DK will be back.
Right
He
on.
might have a couple more pretty good games, but they're not going to be as. This is the one game he.
No, that was definitely
his
his best game of the season.
You know.
Well, with DK in the lineup week 2 here, he had 22.7, 16 targets, 12 catches for 117, and I believe DK had a big game that day as well. He's had 9, 11, 9.9, and then 38.5. Looking at their schedule, he's at San Francisco. He can move the ball against them. Home against Arizona, at the Jets, at Arizona, Green Bay, Minnesota, Chicago. So it's not the greatest schedule. You would think they'd be in negative game scripts, and who knows? Yeah. I agree, though. I think it's he's a more boom bust guy. But you look at Raw Dog in it. He scores 169. 23 is very serviceable out of your quarterback. Then you get damn near 31 out of King Henry. You get 38.5 out of JSN. But look at some of these other numbers. Michael Pittman, 1.9. Neighbors, not what you expect. You expect more out of Neighbors, 10.4. 10.6 out of Ferguson. Then you get another surprise with 2 touchdowns out of Robinson, 24 points. The rest of his team didn't do much. He really was banking on those 3
Did he have anybody on a bye?
Blow-up weeks. Looking here, Jalen Warren was on a bye. McMillan was out. Jamison Williams was suspended. He'll be back this week. So, yeah, he had a couple guys he could have subbed in, or he would start normally. I mean, he started Trey Palmer on a flyer. He started Robinson. But Robinson rewarded him. So, anyways, congratulations, Raw Dog. He's been battling this year. Normally, after week 6, his team usually hits a wall. But this year, he's battling. He's right up in it, 5-4 in the playoff hunt, in the division hunt. Nikki's team is out of it. I would assume with 5 weeks left, we can say he's mathematically out of it. The best he can finish is 5-8, or 6-8, excuse me. Stacks on stacks. Carl is the number 1 ranked team in the league, finishes with 163.32, moves up to 6-3. Make Bears great again was on an absolute heater. Started the season 1-4, right? Then he won 3 straight to be 4-4. This is his first loss in a month, 120.78. Joe Burrow threw for 5 touchdowns. Crazy game against Vegas. Some of them were short touchdowns. Some of them were not. Mike Gesicki was the recipient of a couple. But you look at this. I mean, Gibbs, solid day, 1 touchdown. Chuba Hubbard had 2 touchdowns. Cooper Kupp went over 100. Marvin Harrison fell back to earth this week after a big week 8. Jamar Chase. It's crazy to think that Burrow threw for 5 touchdowns and Jamar Chase didn't have one. 7 catches, 43 yards. Hunter Henry, Cortland Sutton, Dave, your Broncos. Granted, we predicted them getting their ass kicked against Baltimore in Baltimore. But Cortland Sutton, he's been on a heater.
Well, he had Carolina and at Baltimore, 2 terrible pass defenses, and he's excelled in them both versus both opponents. I guess I don't know. I'm not as. I think he's more of like a 2 than a natural wide receiver 1. In real football, fantasy. I mean, he could be a viable flex number 3 receiver, no doubt. Rest of the year.
Yeah, you look at his numbers: 5.8, 3.1, 10.3, 13.5, 4.2, a 0. Then it's been 18 and 26.8. Now you go to Kansas City, which is a tough matchup for anybody, but they're force feeding them the last 2 weeks. Like you said, good defenses to pass against, 10 targets, 11 targets. That's 21 targets over the past 2 weeks. Hey, if you're going to get force fed the ball, fuck it. Why not slide them in your flex spot? You know,
it's not a Cortland Sutton. It's not what Cortland Sutton isn't, I guess. It's just his quarterback. You know, he's a rookie quarterback that needs to get him the ball more. But,
yeah.
I mean, the Broncos could have made a move at the trade deadline for a receiver. You know, my nephew and I talked about this last night. He suggested Mike Williams would have been a pretty good idea for the Broncos to go nab, and Broncos didn't make a move.
Well, are the Broncos in Super Bowl contention this year?
No, but we're in playoff contention.
Okay.
We had the seventh. I think we had the last spot. If the playoffs were to start today, the Broncos would have the number 7 seed.
Yeah, not after this coming week, though. Sorry.
You never know.
You're right. But
I never know.
I predicted 5 and 5.
I'm a Broncos fan, but I've seen stranger things happen. The Nuggets won last night.
Just like the Broncos could be
their first loss.
Dave could win the league.
Just like CU is in contention for the Big 12, which means they could potentially make the playoff. A lot of good things happening out here, just not for the Avalanche.
Definitely not on Saturday.
All right. White Boy Rick versus Firm Grasp of the Obvious. This one was close all the way till Monday night. As we know, RJ's team has a bunch of Kansas City Chiefs, starting with Pat Mahomes. He wins 152.84, moving up to 4-5. Ricky falls to 4-5 with a 136.45 effort. Ricky had the lead going into Monday night. He even had the lead going
at
into
the end of regulation.
Overtime. Exactly.
Dude, it was a crazy game.
So in overtime, John and I reviewed this the other day. Pat Mahomes peppered Kelsey with targets all night, but Kelsey did not reach the 100-yard bonus, 5-point bonus, until overtime. Also, you look here, Kareem Hunt did not hit the 100-yard rushing mark bonus until overtime. He also scored the rushing touchdown in overtime. You total all these points, I have to guess it was like 25 points, which would have given Ricky the win.
I think before OT started, I believe RJ had 127 and Ricky had like a 134 to 127 lead.
Yep.
And it's just
I mean you take 16 points off. You take 16 points off the board with the 2 bonuses and the touchdown, and Rick wins, right?
Yeah.
16 points.
Yeah. Yep.
Something like that, yeah.
So overtime.
Oh no, it would have been RJ by like a fucking half a point still, but yeah.
But I mean, that's just the bonuses. I mean, Kareem Hunt had a catch.
Right. No yards. No catches,
Kelsey had a couple catches. Then the touchdown. It's just when you all add it all up, it's well over 16 points he achieved in overtime alone. Now, Ricky did have DeAndre Hopkins here, who ended up with 8 catches for 86 and 2 touchdowns. He's looking to be like a seamless fit in this Kansas City offense. They're definitely going to be peppering him down near the goal line, especially 24.6. Go ahead.
Never had it better.
Mm-hmm. But RJ, he deserved that win. RJ's had a couple tough losses this year. His team's now sitting at 4-5, 1 game out of the playoff spot. Same with Ricky, 4-5. That was a huge season-changing win for RJ, and it happened in overtime of the Monday night game. Patty eclipsed 30 points. He's had 2 good weeks in a row. You look here, 30 points. 21. That's not a great week, but this week was just huge for him, 30.54. Kamara, he's just this is what you do against Carolina. 29 carries and then 6 more touches. He had 35 touches in this game. and 205 or 215 yards. That's insane. Wow. It's insane.
I think he had like 24 carries by halftime, dude.
Yeah, that's nuts. Just beating him up. Anyways, RJ, congrats on the win, 4-5. Like I said, Ricky falls to 4-5. Here, we gotta go back. Now, last game we need to recap from week 9. Dave, 130.67. We kind of touched on it earlier. Stroud buckets must have some STDs or something because only scored 112. Tough week. Love didn't really do much, 9.92. We talked about the weather in that game. But Jared Goff didn't do much. 18-22, but only 145 yards and 1 touchdown. Take us through this a little bit, Dave. What was working for you?
Well, it started with my defense versus Norm's 3 running backs that morning. And his 3 running backs were balling out all day. I think they all got bonus. Well, 2 of the 3 got bonuses out of Pollard, Dobbins
and Chase Brown.
Yeah, and so it's pretty much my defense in the early going, keeping me in the game versus the 3 running backs. And luckily Connor had 18 points for me. Lockett had a pretty solid game at 13.8, and Jaden Reed had a pretty nice game in the rain at 19 points. So, I mean, both our quarterbacks struggled mightily in the weather, and it was kind of game. It was just, it was a good rain, definitely falling in Green Bay.
AJ Brown left the game early. Chris Olave, just ugly hit. He left the game. DJ Moore didn't do shit. Xavier Worthy, when you see all these yards from the Kansas City team, Worthy was not a part of it. He had no catches, 2 targets, 2 carries for -10. Norm's team just could not get anything going after those early games with the running backs. Even his kicker only had 0.5, missed a field goal. Kansas City defense didn't really do much. So I would consider this kind of a team effort for you, just people chipping in everywhere to get you to 130 and get you this win. You got to feel thankful that you played Norm's team this week.
No doubt.
So with that said,
easy wins.
We're going to go into the standings here. Red Flags division. Me and Phil are both 6-3. He has exactly 50 points more scored. That's the tiebreaker. McKeever and Norm lost this week. They fall to 4-5. So Phil and I have a 2-game advantage with 5 games left. We feel good that it's going to be us battling it out in week 14 for the division, but a lot of things can happen from now until then. McKeever and Norm still very much in the playoff hunt, 4-5. Mediocreville. Carl's got a 1-game lead over Ryan, sitting at 6-3. Ryan's 5-4. Ricky fell this week, 4-5. Rich is in the basement of this division at 3-6. But like we talked about, his roster, he has a good enough roster that he can make a run. Only 2 games out of a playoff spot. Your division, guys, skid marks. Dave holds the lead after 9 weeks at 6-3. John, you're 5-4. RJ's won 2 in a row. Is now 4-5, and you got the worst team in the league in your division, which has got to make you guys feel good because you get to both play Nick. This division will work itself out. All these divisions will, because you get to run through all the divisions after next week, right? No,
yeah.
2 weeks.
2
more weeks. So we'll go into the trades real quick. There wasn't a lot of activity, but there was some. Let's see. The 30th, we talked about the Tank Dell Stroud. So on Halloween, which was last Thursday, Rich and I did a deal just before the Thursday night kickoff where I received Jacoby Myers, Jalen Waddle, Braylon Allen, and Ladd McConkey for David Montgomery, Elijah Moore, Josh Palmer, and Xavier Legette. How do you guys feel about this deal?
Pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
I mean, Rich got the best player in the deal for sure. With Monty, I like Ladd, like Waddle, like Myers. Braylon's a piece. All of the receivers that Rich got back are like those fringy flex waiver guys.
He was very high in Elijah Moore. I mean, Elijah Moore is what got the deal done. So then I turned around. I turned around that night after a couple high-powered IPAs and handing out candies to all the little freaking kids, and I traded Amari Cooper and Ladd McConkey to you, Dave, for Brian Robinson and Jordan Addison. How do you feel about this deal, Dave?
I thought it was a good trade because I was getting 2 players to help me out with my roster.
You got to stick
Basically,
a little
I
Finally get a deal.
What, John?
Stick a little pinky in the butthole.
Yeah, just a little tickle.
You know how I know you stuck a little pinky in the butthole? Because Biz woke up the next morning with regret.
I did. I texted John early, and I was like, "Man, I'm regretting doing that deal." Come to find out, Brian Robinson and Amari Cooper don't play this past week, so it is what it is. And then Jordan Addison, he had his best game in the last month, so who knows? Who knows how this deal works out? I have Austin Eckler, and that's kind of what charmed me into doing the deal. But I was higher on Amari Cooper than most. Unfortunately, he didn't play. But looks like moving forward, it's a good deal for both. I needed a running back after trading Montgomery, and I just picked up all these receivers. So that was the point in behind this. Looking at waivers. All right, we're going to do this kind of how the online version, desktop version works. Let me go back actually and do it on my phone because it's easier to read here. For some reason, it's not showing me all the bids. Can you guys see it on your phone?
Oh, yeah.
I can see it on my.
Yeah. For some reason, it's not showing me all the different bids. So Quentin Johnston was the big pickup of the week. Looks like Phil picked him up for $23 big bucks, and he dropped Isaiah Likely.
Ryan was next.
20.
Carl after Ryan at 19, and Norman, myself, put in a claim for Quentin Johnston.
Pat Fryermuth got picked
up. You dropped right before the
game. right before Sunday's games, about 10 minutes before Sunday's games, I dropped Quentin Johnston for Andre Yosevas with the news that T. Higgins was out.
How do you feel about that now?
I'm fine. I guess I have McConkey.
That didn't sound like you were fine.
I got Ladd McConkey. That's okay. But you probably do want a piece of that Chargers offense with the way Herbie's been throwing the ball lately.
They've been throwing the ball a lot more since their bye week. Definitely have. Pat Fryermuth goes to Rich. Drop Zach Ertz. $0. Jonnu Smith got picked up. I mean, why not, Nick? Why not just go all in on the Miami Dolphins offense? I did text him last week. I said, hey, I got Jalen Waddle, cheap price. You interested in going all in? He's like, nah, I'm good. I'm like, okay, no problem. And Waddle's the one that scored the fucking touchdown last week.
That's fucked up, man. I asked you about Jalen Waddle. You said, nah, dude ain't on the block.
No, well, I just thought Nick might see it as a little more valuable than what Waddle is right now. I'm waiting for that blow-up week, 20-plus points for Waddle. Ironically, Nick just dropped Jonnu Smith literally right now and picked up Jalen Hyatt.
Because he was listening to our show, that's why.
Probably. Oh, look at this. Rick Nichols Jr. just requested to follow me on Instagram.
Man, boys are active right now.
Yeah. Well, it's an ongoing joke in our league, as everyone knows, about fucking TikTok. Dave, you're on TikTok?
Yeah, I have it on my phone, but I don't use it. I don't.
Yeah. I know Nick, Phil, and Ricky are the big TikTokers. I know, John, you're on TikTok for work purposes, creating awareness for your brand, but no one's on fucking TikTok personally. White Boy Rick picked up Gesicki after that monster game from Gesicki. He had, here he is, 30. Whoa. There he is. 5 for 100 on the dot and 2 touchdowns, 29.5. So Ricky's probably going to start him tonight, chasing those points. Dave, you picked up Aaron Rodgers and dropped Bo Nix. I know you got Jordan Love on the bench. Are you starting Aaron Rodgers this week?
Yeah, he has a good matchup versus the Cards.
Okay.
See what happens with those, offense clicking.
Khalil Herbert got traded from the Bears to the Bengals. Make Bears great again. Jeff picked him up, dropped the Titans D. Chris Boswell. I know there's a few bids on Boswell. Boswell got picked up by Jeff as well. Ryan picked up Atrick Estime, dropped Trey Palmer. Looks like Estime's in the starting lineup as of today. And then you go and scoop up, you drop Yoshivas, and you're like, yeah, I'm good. No problem. Pick up Westbrook Akine after you dropped Quentin Johnson.
Throw. It's, we'll see what happens. As long as Rudolph stays the quarterback, I'm fine.
Going back to last Thursday, Dontavian Wicks got picked up for Justice Hill, and Tua got picked up for Russ. So a little bit of activity this week, not a ton. A lot of people are kind of happy with where their team's at. So getting deals done is going to be a little tricky for sure. So John, how do you feel? 5-4, 6th place. How do you feel about the squad moving into week 10?
I mean, I've got 1 loss, maybe 2 to play with rest of the year. So I have to go 3-2. If I can knock on some wood and we get a little bit of health going, my team feels like the kind of team that can put together 3 wins.
Dave, how do you feel?
A lot of that's my apologies, but a lot of that's going to depend on getting Nico back in the fold, getting CD back in the fold, getting DK back in the fold.
Yeah, those are some big time names, and if you can get everybody healthy, it doesn't look like Dak is going to play again, at least in our regular season.
Yeah, probably not. So I did make a move for CJ, so I was happy with that. I'll roll CJ. He's got a bye. I've got to cover in week 14, but we got a couple weeks before we really have to worry about that. I feel like it can be done, but I'd really like to see Nico. If Nico doesn't play this week, it's going to be rough. But after this week, I should be able to get Nico and DK back into the lineup and Cedric Tillman back into the lineup, all past their bye and hopefully healthy. So
we might match up for a deal. I got a couple flex option type guys on my bench that may work out for you. I got a Taysom Hill. Does that tickle your pickle?
I need a running back. I don't need a Taysom Hill. I've already got 2 tight ends. I've got TJ and Kincaid.
I've got Austin Eckler, Rico Dowdle that I'd be happy to move if you're interested in something like that. Obviously not asking a lot, but it's a starting piece that can get in your lineup.
Yeah, we can spit. I could definitely get on board with one of them.
Okay. And I don't have anybody playing in tonight's game, so the Bengals-Ravens game. Dave, you're sitting at 6-3, top of the division by 1 game. Your team stalks. How do you feel?
Well, as long as I keep on playing sucky teams, I feel great. No, I'm just kidding.
He said, "Give me the Nicky schedule. It's going to be all right."
I I feel good is if my players can get a little more healthier, Biz, I think I can make a run. I mean, just saying, just if I can get a Jordan Love healed up and well, and then him and Jaden Reed get back, reunited again like they did first part of the season, Biz, I think I can be a tough team to beat.
Well, you got a tough road this week where you said, I wish I had the Nicky schedule playing shitty teams, and you're playing the number 2 team in the league and Phil. So let's roll right into that one.
Without Jordan Love, without Madison,
Yes.
without Jaden Reed, without Tyler Lockett.
Yeah.
I just heard a lot of excuses. That's crazy.
Well, neither of those guys can get hurt this week. That's
well,
good,
right? Tonight's a huge game for you going up against Lamar and Zay Flowers. So let's just roll through this here. Week 10, Flipper 6-3. You're 6-3, but he has more points. That's why he's ranked number 2 and you're ranked number 4 in the league. You're starting Aaron Rodgers at Arizona. That's a plus matchup. That could be a little bit of a shootout type game depending on how Arizona moves the ball. But he's got running backs galore. So do you. I mean, obviously Lamar's an edge over Aaron Rodgers. He's starting the Atlanta running backs, but we also know he's got Williams in flex. You've got Jonathan Taylor home against Buffalo, James Conner in that Jets game as well. That's a tough matchup for Arizona. Wide receivers, you've got Ladd McConkey, excuse me, Jesus. You got Pop Douglas and Amari Cooper hopefully playing at Indy. That would be a good matchup for Amari. He also has Khalil Shakir in that game, Zay Flowers. So a couple key games here. Tonight's game, the Indy-Buffalo game, and then the Jets-Arizona game are key games for you guys in this matchup. Laporta and Cade Otton. I mean, Cade Otton's been on fire. Laporta plays primetime Sunday night. You're going to start Tolbert, which I like because, who else do they have to throw the ball to? A.J. Brown is questionable right now. Looks like he's going to play in a plus
yesterday.
In a plus matchup in a limited fashion, Dave. Limited fashion.
Sideline on the bike.
I'm just kidding.
Sideline on the exercise bike.
But yeah, he's got the Williams brothers starting in the flex. Kyron and Javonte Williams. Do not love the Javonte Williams at Kansas City matchup, but hey, when that's all you got, why not? Chargers D against Tennessee, that's a plus matchup. And then he's got Philly at Dallas. That's a good matchup. Dave, I'm rooting for you this week big time. I'm the one going up against Phil. He's going to sit Quentin Johnston, against Tennessee and start Javonte Williams. Shake my head at that one. Anyways, I'm not trying to help Phil. I need you to beat Phil. So I'm rooting hard for you. I'm looking at you going 7-3, Dave, that this team, even though you've got some key players on bye, is going to blow up this week. What do you think, John?
Nah, man. Phil's got this in the bag. Lamar's going to put up like 35 tonight. Phil's going to put up like 180 again this week.
Yeah, I'll put up 185. Fuck you.
Yes, let's go,
He's going to put up 15. It's going to be the blowout of the week.
Well, yeah.
Are you starting Aaron Rodgers, Dave?
Yes.
I am starting Aaron.
You could start Daniel Jones Sunday morning against Carolina. You got Joe Flacco.
That was my next pickup. If
Joe
it wasn't
Flacco,
Aaron Jones, it was going to be Aaron Rodgers. It was going to be Daniel Jones on my claims.
What's wrong with Bo Nix, Dave? You love that guy. He's the best.
Nix is playing at KC, bro.
At Kansas City. I would start Joe Flacco.
Yeah, but Aaron Rodgers sucks.
Yeah, who knows?
Aaron Rodgers is not good at football anymore. He's old.
He's playing Arizona, John. He should be fine.
At Arizona, he's in the dome.
Who's got that Arizona D I can trade?
I think they're on waivers.
Come on. I don't need Aaron to run.
Someone has Arizona. But yeah, the last 2 weeks he's scored over 21 and then 26. At Arizona is a plus matchup. I mean, Daniel Jones in Germany is a good matchup. Joe Flacco at home, I expect the Colts offense to bounce back. I know Buffalo's defense has been playing better, but they're going to have to keep up. Buffalo's going to score. So a couple options there. Don't love any of them, but good luck this week, Dave. Next matchup, Bing Bong 6-3 going up against Rod Dogging it at 5-4. Two playoff teams if the playoffs were to start today. I'm fortunate in that Rod Dogging it has a couple guys on bye. He's got Seattle on bye, which is Kenneth Walker, JSN, who just had that big game. Geno Smith, he's been starting. He also has Baker Mayfield as an option at quarterback, and Sam Darnold. He's going to start. But you look here, he's got the Green Bay D on bye. He's going to start Denver's D at Kansas City, hoping that could be a slugfest for him. The big news here, my man right here. You see this?
He's practicing.
He's going to play this week, boys.
On the side, but he's practicing. At practice.
He was not on the side. Not the videos I saw. He was running routes. He was running plays. It was technically a limited participation, but from what I saw, everyone was limited. They were all in shorts. Let's go, baby. Bring him back. CMC. I'm going to absolutely annihilate Ryan this week. Sorry, buddy, but that's just what's going to happen. The first week back with my boy Christian McCaffrey, the 1-1 pick. There's no fucking way my team is losing. I've got a plus matchup with Jalen Hurts and Devonta Smith playing at Dallas. If Brian Robinson doesn't play, I got the plug and play with Eckler. Tough matchup against Pittsburgh. He's starting off tonight with King Henry. That's a plus matchup home against Cincinnati. So I'm hoping Henry scores only 35 points. Is that realistic? Like, not a 50 bang.
You should be good on that, man.
35. I'll take it. He's got Jalen Warren at Washington. Again, I'm going to roll out Jordan Addison this week in a plus matchup at Jacksonville. Fuck it. Why not? I've got Sun God playing Sunday night. Devonta Smith, as we talked about. He's rolling out J-Mo. Why not? Michael Pittman stinks. And then he's got a stud, Malik Neighbors. Yeah, and hurt. Ingram and Ferguson, whatever. Possibly starting Rico Dowdle and Jalen Waddle.
RB1 now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Dude, I've been telling you guys this for weeks. Just wait till Rico takes over that backfield. Now they have they have to start him. They have to feed him because, CD's banged up and Dak is hurt. Why not?
Zeke sucks.
And Zeke sucks. Cook is cooked. Like, come on now. Got a plus matchup with the Chicago defense playing against New England. Like I said, I got a couple guys on my bench that are flex options. Jacoby Myers is on a bye, otherwise he'd be starting. Yeah, 7-3. There's no way my team is going to let me down this week after scoring 185 points and my best player is coming back for the first time all season.
Oh, yeah.
That's exactly when your teams let you down, dude.
Yep, we'll see. I feel highly confident this week, though. I'm just saying it. I'm speaking it into existence, putting the knowledge and the vibe and the energy into the universe.
CMC's not playing. He's out this week.
Did not get that update. Dave, put your fucking phone down.
Dude, look at that message right there.
All right.
If that happens, just saying.
If it happens, he goes back to the bench. So what? Like I said, I've got other guys that I'll plug and play happily. They won't be CMC value, but plug them in there. All right. Firm grasp of the obvious. 4-5. He's won 2 in a row going up against his buddy. This is probably the game of the week. This is a must win for both teams. Best friends going at it. We'll see how the group chat is. I'm sure it'll be full of love. Lots of love between these two. But this is a must win. Absolute must win. Let's break it down. You got Jared Goff playing at Houston Sunday night prime time. Pat Mahomes playing against Denver. Denver's D's good. They got a good defense. Might be tough to move the ball, but it's Kansas City's offense. Who would you give the edge to, boys? Jared Goff or Pat Mahomes?
I'm liking Patty right now. You might see a 35-point game on Sunday, just to show that whatever defense you throw at me, I'm going to win. You know,
it is a division game.
What does that say? Let's go, Phillip.
Flipper.
Oh, okay. I thought that's what it said. I don't know. Phil.
Anyways, John, you were about to say Jared Goff. What?
I like Jared Goff over Patty Mahomes.
I do too. Backfields: J.K. Dobbins, Chase Brown going tonight for Norm. Going up against Cook and Kamara. I think this is an obvious edge, Cook and Kamara, although J.K.'s had a great year and Chase Brown's come up of late. Disagree? Lean towards Cook, Kamara?
Yeah. Yeah, you have to there.
Wide receivers. Calvin Ridley.
I'd go with Norm on that one with J.K. and Brown. Brown's been looking good.
Okay. I just love New Orleans and Buffalo's matchups, man. I don't see how those two don't outperform Dobbins and Chase Brown. Calvin Ridley, Khalif Raymond, who was just picked up this morning. Gabe Davis getting a start. Let's go, Gabe Davis. I'm rooting for RJ this week. Norm's in my division. So going up against DJ Moore.
T-Law out this week?
Huh?
I think T-Law is out this week.
Yes.
Yeah.
Most likely.
Mac Jones.
Yeah. Let's go, baby. Against that Minnesota defense. They're not that good. They're going to eat in Jacksonville this week, man. Or, excuse me. Yeah, it's in Jacksonville. DJ Moore, Downs, and Worthy against Ridley, Raymond, and Davis. This one I'd probably lean towards Norm. Yeah.
I think so.
RJ's rooting for Raymond on a punt return or something. Kelsey and Kittle. That's pretty close. Then you got Rashad White, Kareem Hunt. Both are in tough matchups against Pollard and Goddard. I would still.
I like White Hunt.
Me too. Dave?
Me too, yeah.
Atlanta defense at New Orleans. Kansas City defense against Denver. I like the Kansas City defense. All in all, you guys already know who I'm picking. Who do you think wins this matchup?
Let's go Norm.
I got Norm.
Fuck you guys. RJ, I'm in your corner. Squarely in your corner in the game of the week. Let's go, buddy. Get a big win. All right, make Bears great again against In My Own Way. 4-5 against 3-6. Let's break this down. Brock Purdy at Tampa. Jaden Daniels versus Pitt. I like Daniels.
How do you not like Daniels?
I'm just saying. I think he's matchup proof.
Give me Purdy. Give me Purdy this week.
Saquon and Mixon against Aaron Jones and Swift. I like Aaron Jones in that matchup, but there's no touching Barkley-Mixon duo. Come on now. And moving forward, you got Drake London, Debo, and Darnell Mooney for Jeff against McLaurin, Jay Jetta, Xavier Legette.
I don't go against Jay Jetta.
Jay Jetta.
All day. McBride versus Freiermuth is McBride. Deontay Johnson rolling him out there tonight. He had 0 targets last week. You expect him to be more involved. Juwan Jennings, good play against Tampa. And then you got Puka and Monty. Puka and Monty for me.
Puka Monty, easy.
Puka.
Okay. Pittsburgh defense at Washington. Do not love that matchup. Arizona versus the Jets. Yeah, it's an okay matchup. There's the Arizona D for you, John. Got to hit up your boy. Rich has him.
Might need to holler at him.
I like Steelers.
Who else is Rich got on D?
Cincinnati, and then Seattle on a bye.
Bungles.
Definitely not starting Cincinnati tonight.
No.
So, this one's tight. This one's tight, but because of the backfield, Mixon and Barkley, and then he's got Montgomery in the flex, and he's got this guy named Jay Jetta, and he's got Jaden Daniels. I give the edge to Rich. What are you guys thinking?
Yep.
Yeah.
Rich.
Yeah.
It's good. It's gonna take a fucking special team for me to pick against that lineup, man. That lineup is thick with 2 C's.
Yeah, for sure. He's got the studs, man. And if they just do what they're supposed to do, Rich should cruise to victory this week. John, Let's break this down for you, dude. 5-4 against Ricky. Ricky's 4-5. I wouldn't call it a must-win for Ricky, but with the Bills coming up on a bye, this is an important win, important week for Rick's team. 5-4 versus 4-5. You got Stroud on Sunday night. He's got Josh Allen at Indy. I got to give the edge to Josh Allen in this one.
Mm-hmm. Allen for sure versus Indy defense.
We talked about how you need a replacement for Jacobs this week while he's on bye. Right now, you got Ramondre going up against Breece Hall and Tank Bigsby. Bigsby's got a tough matchup against Philly. Breece Hall plays at Arizona, which is a plus matchup, and Stevenson's at Chicago, which is not a great matchup.
Bigsby's versus Minnesota.
Yeah. I was saying Stevenson at Chicago here. So
I like the Stevenson side of that.
Yeah, of course you do. All right, wide receivers. CeeDee Lamb's banged up. You got Cedric Tillman still in the lineup, Tank Dell, Garrett Wilson, D-Hop, and Pickens. I mean, with CeeDee Lamb being hurt, man, this is going to be a tough matchup. And if you got DK on a bye, if you don't get Nico back, this is definitely looking edge Rick here. Wide receivers. Tight ends, I'd give you the edge. I think Gesicki was just a boom week, and he's chasing points by starting him.
Sure.
You can throw against Baltimore, but come on. In the flex, you guys got Hawkinson and Pierce. Keon Coleman may not play, so he might be out of the lineup. Ricky Pearsall's in there right now. Just to look, who does he have on the bench? He's got Etienne he could start. He's got Bowers and Joku on buys. He's got 2 defenses. That's really it because Chubb's on a bye, or he's going to start Benson. He'd probably go Etienne. Minnesota D is a really good matchup, especially with T-Law being out. Giants defense over in Germany playing Carolina, which is always a plus matchup.
Oh, yeah.
So I hate to say it, John. You tell me different, but I would say the edge is with Rick on paper.
Sure, on Thursday. We can talk again on Sunday. It won't be on the pod, but
All right. Yeah, I'd love to help you, any way that I can, feed you a little something. Next, Phil Blueprint. Stacks on stacks. I mean, without even looking at it, you have to assume Carl's got the edge, got the favor. He's the favorite in this matchup, number 1 team in the league. We've seen crazier things, though. Nick's team's going to put up on Monday night because he's got all of these Dolphins. So let's start. Joe Burrow plays tonight at Baltimore. Certainly edge over Tua playing against the Rams defense, which has been better of late, but Monday night, crazy things happen. Achane and Najee going against Jahmyr Gibbs and Chuba Hubbard. Newly paid Chuba Hubbard. You can
4
run,
years, $33 million, 20 guaranteed.
which is crazy.
Insane.
What are they doing in Carolina?
They're, Yeah.
I mean, I assume they're just going to buy out Sanders at the end of the year and then try to turn the Chuba Brooks combo into Monty and Gibbs.
It's wishful thinking. We're
No,
still-
I agree, but if you ask what's going on, that's what I have to guess is going on.
So this matchup here definitely banks on the Bengals game tonight, and obviously the Miami game against the Rams on Monday night, because he's got Tua, Tyreek, Achane, and Mostert, and then also that Chicago matchup because he's got Keenan Allen, Rome Odunze. Brian Thomas is questionable. I don't know how much we need to break this down. Cooper Kupp for Carl as well on the Monday night game. This game looks to me like Nick has a chance if Miami can have a big night offensively. Otherwise, I think the edge is
They're
with
playing
Carl.
the defense to do it. You know,
Does Nick have Achane and Mostert as well?
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
Yes. Yeah, that's why I asked him, hey, do you want to just go all in, take Waddle? Carl's starting.
And he said, no, that's where I draw. I draw the line at Jalen Waddle.
While I pick up Jonnu Smith. Yeah. Yeah, he since dropped Jonnu, but
I got to sign for a package. Hold on.
Carl's got that Baltimore D going tonight. That could be interesting. T. Higgins is most likely out.
Back up.
what other defense does Carl have besides the Ravens?
Stop.
None. Nobody.
Wow, that's kind of a risky start with the Ravens D. I mean, you probably should have picked up the
Back up.
Cardinals defense when he had the chance. Just to
Yeah. It would have been a smart move, but Carl's all in on Baltimore. I mean, again, they have a Week 14 bye, so he will need to pick up another defense before then. Jets defense at Arizona, that could go either way. I mean, Arizona has had a couple duds on offense this year, but has looked better of late. Yeah, this is a tough one because Nicky, he's out of it, but he could hurt Carl by having a good week on Monday night. I just don't see it. Do you guys see it?
No.
Burrow's in a zone right now, man. Just and starting. I mean, yeah. I mean, Carl definitely.
Nicky's decision making has been bad, and Norm hasn't given him a gift yet.
It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Week 10, that's our final preview. So the game of the week, I think, certainly firm grasp of the obvious against the STD Buckets. Both teams are 4-5, fighting for their playoff lives. Must win, brothers for life. Let's go, RJ. So
let's go, Norm.
That is our Week 10 preview. Boys, any final thoughts? What does that say? Let's go, Flipper.
Let's go, Flipper and Norm.
Why are you rooting for the guys in my division? That's bullshit.
Well, first of all, I need Dave to lose so that I can catch back up to him in our division. And RJ's trying to nip at my heels, so he needs to go away too.
Fair. Well, I have different feelings because we're in different.
I bet even Dave.
Don't worry, I won't lose. I won't lose.
Yeah, Dave. That's what I'm talking about. Whoop up on Flipper. Let's go. And then you guys see my shirt? Ricky got me this when I was in Connecticut. UConn.
That time of year.
Yep. Had our first game last night. It was a cupcake, but we'll take it.
Who'd you guys play?
We played Sacred Heart, which is a smaller school in Fairfield, Connecticut.
That was also the name of the hospital in the TV show Scrubs.
Yeah. Yeah. So whooped up on them, 1-0. We got another game on Saturday. So, boys, it's been a pleasure. Good luck this week. Dave, I'm rooting for you big time this week, brother. Let's go.
Right. I'll root for you too, man.
Phil, I'm rooting for you, baby. Let's go.
Let's go, John. Oh, you're in my division, so lose, John.
Yeah.